We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
And hey everybody, how you doing? We are back yet again for another podcast, another brief 15-minute update on how things are going and what I'm doing. This one is being recorded in OBS Studios. I am still experimenting with what is the best way to do this and how am I going to get the best sound quality and what is going to require the least amount of post-processing just to do this simple little podcast. Apparently podcasting is not just a fire and forget kind of thing. You just sort of kind of have to feel your way through it and decide what you're going to do. So I still haven't decided. I'm still experimenting with different, recording suites and things like that. But as far as being post heart attack and post my first day of cardiac rehab, I feel pretty good. I was my legs are stiff. I have no idea why my legs are stiff. I went for a simple 6-minute walk yesterday. There wasn't a whole lot to it. So I'm not really sure why they feel stiff. I'm not sore like I worked out, but my legs are stiff. And but I slept okay. I slept until alarms went off this morning. I only woke up about twice in the middle of the night, which is pretty good for me. I usually wake up 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night. And I've had trouble sleeping basically my whole adult life, so it's nothing new. It's not one of the symptoms or one of the results of the heart attack or anything like that, or even the medication. I've had trouble sleeping forever. And I blame the Army for that because I sleep really, really light, and essentially any kind of noise will wake me up in the middle of the night. Anything moving around. And it's kind of a funny story. I think how this happened was when I was in basic training back in the mid 80s. We had a giant bay. There was 68 of us in one bay of this building, and it was all just one big open bay, and there were bunk beds. And I wound up on a top bunk, and right above my bunk was a speaker for the intercom system. And every morning, because we were the Bravo Bulldogs. We were Bravo 795th, the 795th Military Police Training Battalion. So, or was that? How'd that work out? We were Bravo Platoon of the 795th Training Company. So we were Bravo Bulldog 795. But the speaker that they would use to wake us up every morning was right above my bunk, right above my face, actually, just maybe 3 feet above my face. And they woke us up. Our motto was bad to the bone. We were the Bravo Bulldogs, and we were bad to the bone. So George Thorogood's bad to the bone woke us up every morning, blaring through those speakers. And after you get shot out of bed a couple of times by George Thorogood, your brain starts to realize, hey, there's a slight little pop in that speaker before the music comes blaring out of it. About 2 seconds before the music comes blaring out. So that little pop sound from that microphone, or from the speaker rather, would wake me up. So as soon as I heard that little pop, like of the microphone or the speaker, I don't know why I keep wanting to call it a microphone. Probably because I've been playing around with microphones so much lately. But when the speaker, how you power up, when a speaker powers up, there's this little pop, or a little tick kind of sound. And when I would hear that, I would come shooting out of bed before the music had a chance to just blare right into my face. And I have slept very, very lightly ever since. And I've had all sorts of troubles, sleeping. And you add in chronic pain from innumerable injuries over the years, and you roll around the wrong direction, you're in pain, and you've got to wake up all of a sudden and PTSD and all sorts of things that contribute to my sleeping issues. But I think a large portion of it is that speaker training that I received when I was a youngster. So now every little sound, I just jump out of bed or at least wake up. And, I'm in my 50s now, so occasionally you got to get up in the middle of the night and pee. I don't know. I didn't design humans, so I don't know how that works. But so anyway, when I sleep pretty good, it's pretty notable. And I had a pretty good night's sleep. Still going to have the nausea, and of course I did. I even ate a little extra again this morning. Still experimenting with that, and still have some nausea. It's not as bad as it was yesterday, but it seems the lightheadedness as well, the occasional lightheadedness, seems to correlate to the medications as well. So it's worse. It seems like it's worse within the first hour or two of taking my morning medications. And my understanding is that some of those medications will be removed over time. I won't have to take all of these forever, which is good because it gets really annoying, and hopefully I'm not sick every day for the rest of my life because I have to take these medications. But some of them are going to be changed to other meds, and some of them will be dropped off as time goes on and as my heart heals and I recover. So it's all good stuff. This morning, I don't really have anything new because, it's coming up on a weekend again. Nothing special going on this weekend. There are no holidays or anything. And I don't have any other doctor visits or anything until Tuesday. Well, I take that back. Monday, I go back to cardiac rehab. And then Tuesday, I go back to see the cardiologist. And then, more cardiac rehab will be going on. Apparently, that's 36 visits. So I'm going to be doing that for a while. And hopefully it'll go well. It seems like it's going to be fairly straightforward. Walk in, put on a heart monitor, take your blood pressure, start doing some exercising. And apparently you do 30 minutes of exercising using the variety of machines that they have. I don't know if they're going to tell me which ones I have to do or if I just pick one. I have no idea yet. And then after that, they take your blood pressure and all of that again and check you out. And your heart monitor is constantly keeping track of you, and they keep a record of how your body is responding to the exercise. So we'll see. I mean, I 30 minutes of nonstop exercise. I haven't done that in a while. It's been a few months. So we'll see how that goes. Well, I may not be happy about cardiac rehab for the first couple of weeks while I'm trying to get back into shape because, I'd been out of regular exercise for a few months because I was recovering from an injury. So we'll see how I adapt to doing the exercise. A lot of people were just running on treadmills or jogging, and I'm not going to be doing that because my knees and my hip are too bad. That'll just suck. So I'm not going to just kill myself. It'll have to be something that's a little lower impact, but I'm not sure what that's going to be. And that's pretty much all that's going on as far as my heart condition, and my recovery is going. But I added some visuals to this OBS studio, and really what it is just showing me in different stages of, hey, I had a heart attack, or hey, these are the bruises. This is what my life was like before having the heart attack. And yeah, there's a bunch of pictures from a karate tournament in 2021 and a jiu-jitsu tournament in 2021. 2021 was the year of the comeback for me. That's when I did the most, really. And I really wanted to do a lot more after that. But we'll see if I can get back to going to competitions or anything following that. But there's also just pictures of me and my friends at the gun range and things like that. I just grabbed some random pictures and threw them on there so that it would play some sort of visual for the ones that aren't just the audio podcasts on certain ones. Especially for the YouTube version of it, I'm trying to see if I can change that up a little bit But I don't know how much people actually care if they just want to listen to it and they're not paying attention to the visuals. I don't know. But I have further experimented with different sorts of filters and compression and things like that for this pod mic. I really like the Rode pod mic. The thing is a powerhouse, really. It's a dynamic microphone, but so when I say powerhouse, I don't mean, wow, it's overpowering. You have to have some sort of little preamp thing going on there. But the thing weighs 2 pounds. It's, of all the microphones I have, when I got the box for this one, I was like, what did they put it? They put a brick in here with the microphone? What's happening with this? I don't understand. It's easily more than twice as heavy as any of the microphones I have. And so it's pretty impressive. You could use it as a blunt instrument in a Matlock episode, I'm sure. But yeah, I had to tighten up all the screws on my boom. So just to hold this thing up because it's massive. I mean, it's a regular size, but the thing weighs 2 pounds. So that's a lot of weight to put on the end of a cheap little boom arm that I paid $15 for. I didn't buy a fancy one or anything. So there's a lot of tips out there of what to do with it and how to make it sound the best. And I'm having to fall somewhere in the middle because I like to be a little bit closer to the microphone. So I have to have the foam pop filter on it. A lot of people who have very fancy podcasting equipment and live streaming equipment don't have that because they can keep the microphone farther away because they're using preamps and all sorts of podcasting and live streaming gear that I'm not using. I'm just using a simple audio interface into my laptop. So I like the sound if I can leave it turned a little bit farther down and get closer to the microphone. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. But I think overall the quality is getting a little better as time goes on. But I'm experimenting with doing it with the software suite that comes with the podcasting service, doing it in Audacity, which is a free open source audio engineering kind of software suite that's very robust, actually, and a lot of people use it. And it's fairly easy to use once you get used to it. And then this OBS Studio, which is, I'm doing just audio on there right now, but you can do video, you can show your screen, you can do all sorts of mixing and fading and transitions and things like that. And it's also open source, which means it's free and it's constantly updated and tweaked in case there are glitches or problems in it. It's fixed fairly quickly. So this particular episode is being recorded on OBS Studio with some compressors and limiters and things like that applied to the microphone. And I'm just going to see how this one works out. I'm trying to make sure I get the recording levels set right so that I don't have to go in and boost everything after it's been recorded, which so far nothing really works. And I think without adding in some preamps and different things like that, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I think I'm always going to have to go back and boost the audio after it's recorded before I upload it, because it's really annoying, the audio levels. It sounds fine when I listen to it on my laptop. When I listen to it through my headphones are turned up at maybe on the number 2.5 notch out of 10, listening through my audio interface, and any louder than that and it gets too loud. But once it's uploaded, I don't know what happens. It gets compressed, it gets dampened or whatever, and you just really have to crank it up too much. So I am going to hit this outro music and we're going to call it a day for today. And tomorrow I am going to do a little workout at home. So I'm going to, go into my basement gym and do a little stuff and see how I tolerate it. And I think it'll be okay. I think we're going to survive it, maybe. So the outro music isn't playing. So, hey, lucky you, or at least I can't hear it if it is playing. Who knows? Maybe you hear it and I don't. But until next time, thanks for joining me, and I will catch you all later.